the Truth, Money, and Freedom podcast.
Welcome to Truth, Money, and Freedom. Today is Monday, the 19th of October, 2020. Hey gang, I want to talk about the Purge one more time here and talk about some of the people who have been purged from YouTube. As you know, Truth, Money, and Freedom, we've been on YouTube for nearly 2 years now, but we've been a group for over 6 years, and about 6.5, maybe 7 years. On chat group, we kind of stuck together through 3 iterations of chat rooms, first in Greg Manarino's chat room, and the trolls took over there. So we went to a place called Chatsy, and then from Chatsy we went on to Discord. And so doing the YouTube thing was something that was kind of an experiment for us, basically to see if we could, strike up some interest in what we saw as trying to hedge your bets for what's coming in the future financially, politically and financially. And as the Purge really started, it really got steam about 2 years ago, and that was with demonetization. Alex Jones, Mike Adams, I do believe the first 2 that were demonetized on YouTube. And I'm sorry, big channels that were demonetized by YouTube. I don't want to say the first demonetized ever, because I'm sure there were channels that were demonetized before them. But going into literally shutting down channels, especially without explanation, or certainly without warning, what I have really kind of come to terms with is it's not people like me that are talking about the financial system or things of that nature, which is what we really focus on, real money, gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. We don't regard cryptocurrency as real money. We regard it as a hedge. But it's those who are pointing out that the fact that our government is not democratic, it is not a constitutional republic, it is becoming totalitarian, it is socialist, it is fascist. Those folks that actually say this and make sense are the ones that seem to get cut from YouTube. And what I want to do today, real quick here, is just bring up a few channels that are on BitChute that have been purged from YouTube. Now, the first one here, Brian Young with High Impact Vlogs, he is still on YouTube, so I don't want you guys to think he's been purged, but holy God, I mean, he's had a couple of channels shut down, demonetized. I mean, he's been pretty beat up by YouTube, but he is also on BitChute. And I know Brian, I've talked to him on the phone once, super nice guy, and I want you guys to consider subscribing to him. And what I'm really asking right now is for you guys to start looking at setting up accounts at alternative places if you haven't done it already. YouTube is becoming a pretty barren place, especially when it comes to the truth of politics, the truth of what, governments are doing, not just the U.S. government, but governments around the world. And I think we need to hear this, because if we don't hear this stuff, and if we don't hear it often, we may become lax in our preparations for what is to come. And part of that is a spiritual preparation, and I am remiss. I need to talk about that more often. It's something I do know about, but I just don't talk about it very often, and I'm going to have to reevaluate that, because there's more to preparing for what's coming than just collecting gold and silver and storable food and things of that nature. But Brian Young is someone I've been following quite a long time on YouTube, and I am very happy to be watching him on BitChute. Next one is Josh Siegertsen with World Alternative Media. Josh has gone through iterations just like Brian Young has of being demonetized. First having individual videos demonetized. All of these guys went through this, by the way. And then having their entire channel demonetized, only to be literally just shut off of YouTube completely. Now, this is probably a blessing and a curse. I hate the fact that that some of the power players on YouTube that cover the alternative journalism, alternative to the mainstream is what I mean by that, are being fractionalized and going off to this platform platform or that platform, where we were all together on YouTube, so we were all together in one place. And maybe that was part of the plan, was just to fractionalize us, basically, so people give up and go, oh, geez, I'm not going to sign up and do this account on BitChute and go to library and go to, this next one, DLive and DTube and Rumble, and, it's just too much. And I'm not saying that you need to do that, but these guys are on BitChute. You may want to consider getting a BitChute, account, so you can continue following some of these guys you may have followed. All of these guys are people that I've followed. And Josh Siegertsen at World Alternative Media with John Sneisen as economic analyst. Those guys have done a pretty good job on a shoestring budget. And I'm glad that they're on BitChute, so I can continue following them there, because they are now gone from YouTube. Next is Mike Adams. Now, Mike Adams was not part of the recent Purge, or Purge 2.0. He was actually a pre-Purge. He was demonetized and then shut down before they were doing that to everyone else. I remember when they did that to Alex Jones, and there was people that were actually happy about that. And they said, okay, Alex Jones sucks. He's a Zionist shill. I've heard it all, gang. I happen to like Alex Jones. Don't watch him very often anymore, but talk about a powerhouse or a power player in the 90s, in the early 2000s. I mean, he was one of the only games in town for alternative sources of information. And Mike Adams was taken down, I think, 2 years ago from YouTube, or demonetized 2 years ago, and maybe taken off shortly after that. But he is also on BitChute, but he also has his own platform called Brighteon. And I'm looking into setting up an account there. I know a lot of folks are going there as well. I'm not going to do, 5, 6, 7 platforms. DLive is one that a lot of big folks have gone to, but I really haven't pursued that one. But Brighteon is something that I do need to look into. Mike Adams is here on BitChute as well, though. Once again, in the description section below, I'll have all the pertinent information for all these people that were terminated from YouTube. And I will have information for Brian Young on BitChute, just because, if you're going to BitChute, I mean, you might as well subscribe to him while you're there. Next one is Dustin Nemos. And for those of you who know me, know that I don't subscribe to Q. I don't believe in Q. And there's lots of different reasons for that. Dustin Nemos does believe in Q and does promote Q, but just because he does that doesn't mean that he doesn't bring other things to the table as far as I'm concerned. So I don't shut him out because he's a Q guy. In fact, I actually watch this guy for other. He's actually bringing valid data to the table, and basically in his own way collating the data or doing a critical thinking process to try and figure out what it means. That's what a lot of us do on YouTube. We're trying to provide perspective. So Dustin Nemos was part of the Purge on Thursday, but he is on BitChute, and he'll be linked down below. And once again, you don't have to be a Q follower to follow Dustin. If he wants to get big into Q and everything, just shut off that video and wait for the next one. And that's kind of what I do, and I still respect the guy. It doesn't mean, once again, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He does provide other value as far as I'm concerned. And, those of you who are with me and understand what I'm saying about Q, it's about all of us coming together and deciding what we want as a people. Do we want liberty, or do we want totalitarianism? And I'm not waiting for some hidden people in the background with white hats to do the right thing in Washington to secure my freedoms, because I just don't believe they exist. I'm sorry, I don't. It's up to us, gang. Next one, the amazing Polly. And believe me, Polly is just as amazing on BitChute. So one thing I'd like to say about Polly, I've been following her for years. But with the amazing Polly, when she does her YouTube videos, which is kind of neat, she delivers a lot of pretty depressing data. But also she does it in such a way that you're not depressed at the end of it, because I know a lot of us are considered gloom and doomers because of the nature of the information we're conveying. And sometimes, we don't end it well, or, it just ends on a depressing note. And Polly has this really, really unique ability to help you understand the bad things that are going on, but at the same time not be depressed at the end of the video. So, a salute to you, Polly, and thank you for everything you do. And then last but not least, I believe Jeff Berwick is someone that I have been following longer than anyone else on YouTube. And I can't be 100% sure, but I think it's been about over a decade that I've been following Jeff Berwick. Mike Maloney would be another one that I've been following just as long as I've been following Jeff Berwick. But Jeff, unfortunately, was axed from YouTube, and that didn't surprise me. He knew this was coming, and he even said so a year or two ago. When Alex Jones was cut, he says, you know, they're coming for the rest of us. And we all felt that way. Jeff has provided so much data over such a long period of time and such wonderful perspective that I would be remiss in not mentioning the fact that he is on BitChute. He's also on Library, and I'll provide links for both of those. For any of those who are on both that I've just talked about, you'll get the link for both. But Jeff Berwick, he's done a pretty interesting video. All of his videos are pretty good, don't get me wrong, but the latest one, YouTube Hunger Games Purge, he talked about some interesting stuff going on in Canada. And I don't want to wreck it for you guys, so please do check out Jeff's video, YouTube Hunger Games Purge, and watch the whole thing. It's about half an hour long, but he's covering a lot of stuff that's going on in Canada, and I'm sure Josh Siegertsen is too. I just haven't had a chance to watch any of his videos recently. Okay, to wrap it all up, and I'm trying to make this one short, I'm working to try and schedule some time in the near future with Craig, Chaos Craig, in our group to do a couple of crypto videos for you guys, as was requested, and I would be more than happy to do it. I would like Craig to be there as well. He's kind of our crypto guru. And also, and my time is a little bit strained right now. I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of personal projects I'm working on, as well as you know, stuff I'm doing with my business and stuff. But I want you guys to consider following, or at least looking at the videos of all the people that I have mentioned here above. Here's the reason why. What we're going into, and I don't want to end on a sour note, what we're going into in the world right now with finance and politics is absolutely awful. It's treacherous, it's dangerous, and you kind of need guides to get through it. And I'm not talking about the spiritual side of things. I'm talking about political and finance side of things. The spiritual side, you know, basically I would encourage everyone, you know, to know Jesus Christ. That's my own personal religion. I don't expect everyone to, you know, become Christian because Truth Money, Timmy Chonga, you know, at Truth Money and Freedom said so. But forgetting the spiritual side for just a second here, we're talking about the actual survival of what's coming. And I do mean whether or not you will live. And because, I mean, I can't put too fine a point on it, I think some pretty bad things are coming. And once again, this is all math. It's all math. This isn't a gut feeling, or, you know, this isn't a, oh, I've thought about it and things are going to be harsh. We're talking about the math of getting off a debt-based currency system. It just isn't pretty. It isn't pretty. There's lack of resources that are coming our way, gang, because you know, basically we are on a debt system. We're on a credit system. And when that credit gets hard to get, a lot of bad things are going to start happening. So I think these guys are excellent people. They should definitely get some of your attention. And hey, if you check out a video or two of theirs and you find that, you know, that's not your cup of tea, that's fine too. Give them a shot. Jeff Berwick, Brian Young, World Alternative Media, Josh Siegertsen, Mike Adams is good too. Let's see, Amazing Polly, and who am I forgetting? Dustin Nemos. All good people fighting the good fight, all in their own way, all trying to help others. And I have recognized that in each and every one of these folks. So please consider checking out their channels on BitChute. They'll be linked down below in the description section. Okay, gang, that's, oh, by the way, as far as YouTube goes, we're sticking around on YouTube as long as they'll have us there, but I still upload to BitChute and to Library. So if you guys are switching over, you know, to one or the other, we're on both platforms. So we'll still be there. And these guys, of course, have no choice. You know, they have to leave. They've been forced to leave YouTube. And I feel real bad about that. But then again, as we're being divided, you know, rich versus poor, black versus white, you know, gays versus straights, pro-gun, anti-gun, abortion, pro-choice versus pro-life. There's divisions everywhere, but I see us being divided once in a while because of certain things people say. And I want you guys to consider, and I think most of you are already keenly aware of this, is that you shouldn't be offended by a single thing someone says. Really, like I said, you know, Dustin Nemos is an example. I don't believe in Q. I don't believe it's real. I think it's a psyop. So, and I can go further into details. You guys can go back into the videos. One of the first videos I did was a QAnon roundtable, where we did a critical thinking process about the kind of data that was being released by Q and the missed dates. And so that was my opinion. However, Dustin Nemos still puts out a lot of good information, and he really is trying to help. So should we be judging him? If we're not Q people, should we say that Dustin Nemos doesn't bring any value? No, absolutely not. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't watch his channel. He does other things than Q. He does news analysis, specifics on politics. He doesn't touch in the finance stuff too often. And that's more my forte, is the finance side of things. I do touch on politics as well. We all complement each other on YouTube, I think. But I want you guys to consider, you know, basically broadening your horizons. If you're watching mainstream media, it's time to cut the cord on mainstream media. They are not helpful. Stop listening to government. You know, shoot, government and, you know, the banking sector, the mainstream media, they're all lying to us. I mean, let's call a spade here. They're all lying. And YouTube is shutting down people who are doing critical analysis on actual political events that are going to affect your life. And when I talked about survivability, I'm not joking about that. I don't know how much clear I could make it other than literally say, so you don't end up starving to death. You know, this is why you want to stay on top of these things. You want to keep prepping. You want to keep getting storable food, precious metals. You want to get a way to filter water. You know, these are all common sense things, but also understanding the government clampdown that's coming upon you, the clamp that's constantly being compressed. And if you're not paying attention, when you finally do pay attention, you'll get squished. You get just crushed. And so what these guys are trying to do is help you see that coming so you can make different choices. What do I mean by that? Maybe you want to leave the country. If America gets too totalitarian, I can't speak, I'm legally stupid, then maybe, you know, the best choice is just to leave the country. And I'm sure that many other people are making other plans. You know, we're a very good friend of mine, Erin Scott, you know, she's doing the homesteading thing down in Arkansas. And it looks like we're going to, you know, camp out here where we're staying. It looks like we won't be moving, at least at this time. But people are making all types of different preparations and different decisions based on the information that they're getting from these reputable sources. Does that mean that Dustin Nemos or Jeff Berwick or even Brian Young, everything they say is 100% correct all of the time? No, it doesn't. But they're providing perspective based on the information that they do get. So basically to help you make a better informed choice. That's what these guys do. They are trying to help. That's what we're trying to do at Truth, Money, and Freedom as well. They may be more articulate and well-spoken than we are at Truth, Money, and Freedom. You know, they may have areas of expertise that are different from ours. This is why we all complement each other. And I hope that we all bring something to the table, you know, to actually justify you guys actually setting up a BitChute account and following us on BitChute. By the way, American Man 1967 is also on BitChute. He's been linked down below in my description section, though, for a long, long time, but he is also here as well. So, gang, just consider setting up an account at BitChute, and once again, you'll have links to at least these folks who are cut off of YouTube. You could subscribe to them quite easily just by following the links. Okay, don't want to go on and on about this, and I think this will be the last video I'm going to make about the Purge. I'm going to go back to silver here real quick, and cryptocurrencies. You guys, thank you for hanging in there with us. Hey, we survived Purge 3.0, but we weren't big. We're just not big enough for YouTube to worry about, I think. But I am also disliking speaking in code like I have to sometimes. And that's one thing that really troubles me about staying on YouTube. Okay, I think I should end it there. You guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching Truth, Money, and Freedom and spending a few minutes of your day with us. You guys all take care. May God bless each and every one of you and all of your families. See ya.